Welcome to Shoot the Breeze, a series on our podcast that celebrates the messiness of life, relationships, and Christianity, featuring my wife Lacey and myself, Nathan. It's creatively titled because it will be just us shooting the breeze, sometimes with guests, while occasionally saying something important. We hope you enjoy. It seems like by the end of the week, we're just like... I was going to say schnookered. Schnookered is not the right word. What's the right word about being, like, tired? We're tired.
Schnookered. That's like when you're tricked into something.
Schnookered?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was, like, tipsy.
Tipsy is when you're inebriated.
No, I thought that's what schnookered meant. Like, man, I got schnookered. That means being tricked?
Yeah.
I don't think so. If you guys want to chime in on this conversation, feel free to email us.
So I'm gonna be talking, but I might slur my words a little bit. Not because I'm tipsy, but
or schnookered.
schnookered. No, it's because that's not the right word.
It's not.
I actually fulfilled one of my dreams yesterday. It is a dream I've had for 25 years. And that is, I got me some braces.
So, something...
See, in the video, they're like...
Right now, they're just on the bottom teeth.
The bottom of my teeth, yeah.
But eventually, they'll migrate up to
well,
our top teeth.
they won't move on their own. He'll, like, put some on there.
Yeah,
You just made it sound like it was, like, this...
They're moving around.
Organic thing. I got some real high-tech braces.
Hold on, real quick. My name's Nathan.
I'm Lacey. And
this is Shoot the Breeze with Nate and Lacey.
We talk about incredibly important things.
So important, guys. Super important, braces and migrating. Mm-hmm. And if they migrate on their own, you should go to an orthodontist.
I would get that checked, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I got my braces, and let me tell you what. I have such respect for 12-year-olds right now because I just got them yesterday, and last night was miserable. It was terrible. It was like he put the wire on, and he says to me, I'm putting in a light wire, and I go to leave, and I'm like, oh, is that wire? Because I didn't really even feel it. And I'm like, oh, is that, like, hey, maybe I need something a little more. And he says to me, believe me, that's all you want. And I said, oh, like I'm this like boss with pain, and I'm not.
She's not.
I'm not. And I just think, I got this. I got this. Because at first they were like uncomfortable, right? In your mouth, you're feeling all these places in your mouth you don't usually feel. And he had to put these bite blockers in because my teeth, I have such an overbite. It was coming down and knocking onto one of my front braces. And so he put these bite blockers in, which stop you from biting down before you get to your actual bite. But it feels like you can't close your teeth all the way. And so that was irritating, but it wasn't painful. But as the day went on, I'm feeling this wire more. Like every second, it's all I can think about. It's like, gotta make dinner, wire. Gotta walk to the other room, wire. Gotta help my kid, wire. And it's
gotta breathe, wire.
Right, like I kept like trailing off of my sentence. It was really bad. So I finally went to sleep. I think I went to bed at like 9:30 last night. And so I woke up this morning and I was like, oh yeah, braces.
Last night, speaking of our sleep schedule, last night I went to bed at 8:30.
You did?
I was schnookered, tired.
You're not gonna make that a word. You're not gonna make it a word.
I was so tired though. 8:30, which is rare, and Lacey's 9:30. So our 12-year-old who has had braces for a while now.
Yeah.
Boss. Our 10-year-old who's had braces for a couple months now, she whined so hard.
She did, and she confessed to me last night as I was telling my woes. She goes, Mom, they made me so miserable, I almost popped them off with a fork myself. And I just looked at her, and I'm like, how horrifying that sounds. She would actually have done it. I'm actually surprised she didn't, but...
Well, hold on. But after all of the whining that you have done over the last 24 hours, not even 24, 12 hours, 24. I would not be surprised if I found you and Ari
Popping him off with a fork.
popping him off.
I would not do that. I am, no, listen.
You're too stingy.
As much as I am, okay, stingy. Okay, you're just using all these words wrong.
No, stingy because he's cheap. Yeah, stingy. You wouldn't want to pop him off because you already paid for him.
Well, yeah, and obviously I've waited a really long time to get them, so I want them, and I want the end result.
You just don't want to deal with them.
No, I don't want this, like, I don't want to feel like I have all this stuff on my teeth. It feels weird and heavy, like a pack animal on your teeth. and I just, like, I'm sitting here, like, I can't, like, I haven't really eaten anything since yesterday. I came home after I got them on, and there was some leftover taco meat in the fridge, and I'm like, I'll know what I'll do. I'll make myself a taco salad. That to you, you're thinking in your head, wow, that was a dumb idea, which I didn't think about until I took my first bite and realized I couldn't chew, and it was just like falling out of my mouth, the like corn chips, and I couldn't finish it. So since yesterday, I've had some broth and coffee, a few bites of soft pancake.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't want to eat anything.
So also, Lacey's on a new diet, so she should be losing some weight.
Yeah.
Called the Braces diet.
It's called the Braces diet. I'm going to write a book, make a bunch of money.
So Lace, you've had a kind of a crazy 48 hours. We've had actually some really fun things we'll get to later on in this episode, just dealing with our family, some schedule stuff, some things that we've been reading. We'll get to that. But what I wanted to do, because you've had kind of a crazy day, I wanted to start off with just some fun questions that you get to answer, okay? And this will be fun. Like, I wanted to maybe lighten it up, okay? Maybe shift your brain into a lighter mood, okay? First question. I'm being serious. I'm not being sarcastic.
Okay, I'm like
being
trying
serious.
to figure out how to take you right now.
She's looking at me with these like big eyes like, oh no, what are you going to ask? No, these are fun. So for example, first question, who has always made you laugh?
Like somebody currently in my life, or a comedian, or
Just who's the first person that comes to your mind?
you.
Well, I know that. Thanks.
Yeah. No, that was like one of the first reasons I was attracted to you, is you make me laugh.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I have some more fishing questions.
Okay.
Who's your favorite husband? No. No, okay, well, now I'm curious. Like, is there an actor or someone who's always made you laugh? Or comedian or anything?
Oh, I have several comedians I think are hilarious. Like Mike Birbiglia is one of my
He's coming to town.
favorite. Top.
He's coming to Austin.
When?
Like in a week.
Well, we're a day late and $1 short for that.
Trust me, we're a lot of dollars short for what the tickets are. We're so many dollars short for what it would
We'll
cost.
leave that, but man, no, I think he's hilarious. I love his delivery.
We read I don't know if this is a... Oh, Lacey's tapping me. Okay, yes, he's funny.
Anyway, I think I always, back in the day, Brian Regan, when he came out, like his first stand-up bit was one of my favorites I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And as far as like actors, I actually think Ryan Reynolds is really funny. I love it. He does a comedy role. I think that's great. I
love Ryan
like
Reynolds.
I like dry humor though. I like people that can deliver lines pretty casually. Yeah. So
Okay. I was gonna say for me personally, I like all the ones you've mentioned. Ricky Gervais is up there.
oh, I don't find him that funny.
I find him funny, and then also you and I both got into like the British or Irish humor.
Yeah.
That really dry, almost monotone delivery, and man, we really got into that. I was gonna say something. Yeah, no, Mike Birbiglia is coming to town. He's coming in like a week or two, but tickets are
Like $90. Really? More?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, he's arrived. Good for him.
North of 100. I'll
Good
say
job.
that.
Good job, Mike. Way to earn your living, man.
Exactly. Anyway, so who's always made you laugh? Okay. What is the coldest day you remember?
I mean, ever in my life?
Yep. What's the coldest day?
There's so many.
I have one in particular that I think you'll remember, but I'm curious to know if you say the same thing.
I like I said, there's so many days where I've been so cold.
Majority of your life.
Yeah, like even we lived in a few states where it was always winter, it felt like. And so yeah, I just get cold. When I get cold, I stay cold. I don't really warm back up very easily. I have to take like a hot shower, and I like walk around just like with all these hoodies and socks and extra layers on. I mean, on the glacier, when we got stuck on that glacier, that was a pretty cold time. But I had like boots on that were pretty good. They were pretty high rated, and we were moving the whole time.
Yeah.
So even though it was cold, it wasn't terrible.
Should I give you the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah, give me the one you're thinking of. I'm having trouble
When we
remembering.
lived in, it was Houston, Alaska.
Oh, yes.
See?
Okay. Yes. That is the coldest. Because Nathan was gone at a doctor's appointment, and our fuel tank ran out of fuel. And so I called the place, and I said, hey, we ran out of fuel. And in Alaska, these heaters are super popular. I haven't really seen them other than Alaska, but they're called Toyo heaters. And they sit in your house in one room, and they're like their unit, and all the heat just comes out of the unit. They're not piped to other rooms, and so basically you have to have all the doors in your house open to heat your
Or multiple Toyos in each room.
right. And we had, usually people have one a floor. So back in our last house we lived in, we actually had the Toyo in our room, and we kept the door to our room open so it could reach the girls' room, because if we didn't keep our door open, it wouldn't reach the room. But I remember Ari crying and telling me how selfish I was because we had the heater in our room. Like, you don't get to choose what room it's in, but she just took it as a personal offense. But back before we had kids, we lived in this apartment. It had a Toyo, and it ran out of fuel oil, which is in a tank outside. So I called the company, asked them to deliver it, and she refused to deliver it until I went outside and checked, and she made me like stick a broomstick down there to check the level, which obviously there wasn't. But at that point we were experiencing a cold snap, which was, I think it was like 30 or 40 below. I couldn't get the car started. Everything was frozen.
Here's the difference between Lacey and I. Lacey actually did what the woman asked her to. Me, I would like make it sound like drink, burp. Oh, yep, nope, empty. That's the difference between Lacey and I. Myself. Lacey and myself. Lacey and me.
I think any time that I've been camping and it's just been too cold at night, which I've had a few times. I think back when I worked with this traveling ministry, we had to camp outside a few times when it was just a little bit too cold to be camping outside.
But that's the hard part is I like sleeping in the cold. I feel like I get a better sleep.
Like in 30 degrees?
I mean, yeah. It's as long as you have a good sleeping bag and yeah.
It kind of reminds me, okay, this is like hopping on to a totally different side of things, camping when it's too hot.
Oh, that I can't do. I can't do that at all. I hate it.
Okay, so we actually love, or I will say it this way, I love camping at the beach. And so last year...
I liked it up until...
Did you? Until our last trip?
Yeah, up until last year, all of a sudden, don't like it anymore.
We decided to go camping at the beach, and right when quarantine lifted, when it was really heavy, it lifted, and we decided to go down to Port Aransas in Texas here and go camping. And it was May, so it was a little late for beach camping. Usually it's too hot by May, but we just forged ahead and went anyway. And generally, we are smart enough to check the wind index, as well as the humidity index. But I was so wanting to go to, I didn't even check. I just packed the car and we went. And it was this comedy of errors because my sister was She was pregnant. I think, what would she have been, like 5 months pregnant? And
So pregnant.
well, she was like only 5 months at the time. But, and then I forgot Lydia had an ortho appointment. And then I forgot we had an appointment at school. It was all this stuff was happening and going wrong. So we didn't even get out of the house until like 6 o'clock at night. And so we had a 4-hour drive down there, and we get setting up in the dark. Well, it was 90% humidity. So much so that all my, like my Rubbermaid totes that are clear, I have my cooking utensils in, they were all sweating on the inside because it was so humid, and it was pitch black, and the wind was 15 miles per hour, and it was whipping down the beach, and it was
it would gust up to 16 to 20.
Yeah, and it was like just Nathan could barely get the tent set up. And so finally we get everything set. We go to bed that night, and it's just hot, and the wind was not enough to keep you cool. It was just hot and humid. And in the morning, I woke up to a bird flying by and pooping in my ear because we had left the cover off the tent. And so it pooped right in my ear. And then we got really terribly sunburned. And man, and then what else? It was just all of this stuff. So
it was just so many things.
Yeah, Nathan ended up getting a little scarred from that camp trip. So I'm trying to talk him back into beach camping, which we've had a lot of fun. We've had that one trip that was bad. So I think we need to get back into it. But
it was one trip. It was memorable. I love the beach. I love the beach. Love the beach. Both Lacey and I love the beach. It's where we just, it's so relaxing to us. But the thing is, I'm scarred from camping at the beach now, and I want to stay in a hotel now. Go to the beach. Stay at the hotel.
Okay, I just thought of when I was the coldest.
Yeah.
The entire time we lived in Westilla was the coldest.
The entire time. No, the summers were pretty good. Summers were pretty mild there.
I think the worst part was the windstorms.
Wind was horrible. It would rip roofs off the houses.
Yeah, it was
because
it was like hurricane force wind, but it was just considered a storm.
Because in Wasilla, they're located in a valley. Literally, It's called the valley between two mountain ranges, and so the wind comes in there, gaining speed as it blows through, and how like roofs off of houses would be ripped off. And it's just normal. It's like seasonal. It's like hurricanes in Florida. They're like,
it blows semis off the road.
Yep.
They're really bad. And so you mix that, and they usually happen in the winter time. And so
cold.
It was cold. It was very cold.
One time it even ripped Ari. Wasn't it Ari out of your arms?
No, Ari was a baby. So I had Ari in the one hand, who was real little, and then I had Lyd, who was a toddler, who was a little bit sturdier, and I had to choose between them, and I had to let Lydia get ripped away, and she went rolling across the parking lot, and
just picturing that.
It was really bad, and she was like obviously scarred, and she refused to go out in windstorms after that. She wouldn't do it, and
well, yeah,
I know. It was definitely like a choice, like.
Oh my word.
Which kid are you gonna let?
Okay, last question. Mm-hmm. What is your favorite family tradition?
That we have?
It's just family tradition. Could be something you grew up with, could be something that we do, whatever. Family tradition.
I think my favorite family tradition is, we don't do it anymore, but back when we lived by family, during Thanksgiving, we would go to a hotel for a few days.
Yeah.
And we would just all have rooms and go to the pool and play games together and just spend time. And
that's a good one.
I really enjoyed that. That was sad to give up.
Yeah. Thanksgiving was even bigger than Christmas, I would say.
Yeah, it was more. It was just a really super fun.
We're trying to start a new tradition where everyone comes to Texas, which would be warm. Mm-hmm. That would be nice. So if you're listening to this and you're in our family, you should come to Texas for Thanksgiving.
You should meet all of our needs, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. This is one of the many resources we make available for free at our website, cultivaterelationships.com. Our resources have helped people grow in their relationship with God and others. We've seen people set free from uncontrollable anger and paralyzing fear. We've witnessed estranged family members be reunited after working through our freedom booklet. We've helped people build healthy relationship and coping habits through our coaching videos. And all of these resources are made available for free because of the generous support of people like you. If you would like to become a partner, please visit cultivaterelationships.com/support. Now, I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. We just celebrated Ari's adoption day.
Wait, did we just talk about the traditions the last podcast?
Yeah, I'm not actually doing traditions.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple new things. Yeah, no, this is not about traditions.
Okay,
and
so
it's
if people are feeling like sense of deja vu, it's not because...
No. So the question I asked was not like... So I got these questions from a Chick-fil-A kids meal.
Oh, the little Ask Me table discussion thing.
Yeah, so this episode is not sponsored by Chick-fil-A, but if you...
But it could be.
It could be. We're totally willing and open for any sponsorship. We really could care less.
I mean, I care a little bit, you know.
I mean, we'll make that judgment call depending...
Get sponsored?
Depending on how much their sponsor is. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. We have standards. Anyways, this came from Kids Meals. So... But Adoption Day, we didn't talk about Adoption Day. So, and that's a family tradition.
Yeah, and some people call it Gotcha Day, which I don't know that...
Not our favorite term.
It's not my favorite, so we just call it Adoption Day, which it gets confusing for people, but we know what we're talking about. It's the anniversary of the girl's adoption, so It's almost like
second
a second birthday, except for they don't get presents. They just get to pick a fun family activity.
Yeah, for the evening, for the day.
Yeah, so, you know, we've done geocaching, we've done putters and gutters, which is like a little amusement.
Yeah, Ari wanted to go skating, but she wanted the whole family to go skating, not just her and Lydia. Guys, my hip, we went like a week ago. My hip still hurts. I fell so hard.
It was really fun for me.
It was fun. Like, it was a blast, but man... It was like the last half hour we were there. I fell so hard. Thankfully, interesting note, I was able to borrow Lydia's rollerblades because Lydia and I now wear the same size shoe.
Here's our 13-year-old or 12-year-old now.
12-year-old.
Yeah, I was living my best life because I love rollerblading and roller skating, and when I was younger... I was telling Nathan, that was my jam. Like, that was my social life. We were homeschooled, my siblings and I growing up, and once a month we would have homeschool roller skate day, and we would go to, it was like an old school classic roller skating rink, and you'd have the little snack area, you'd have the roller rink, and you'd have races and limbo, you know, all that fun stuff, you know, and we would just live it up, hanging out with people that we barely knew, because I don't really know anybody there, you know, regularly, unless I could get one of my friends to go. But it was just more cool to be out doing something social, and the moms would sell their curriculum, and so we went and did that every month. And which that brings up two stories for me. One is I found out, you know, I would have things come up missing from my room. Like my audio adrenaline CD. I'd be like, hey Mom, have you seen my Newsboys? Not CD tape, sorry, tape. Have you seen my Newsboys tape? And, you know, it's just gone. And all of these things just started coming up missing. Well, it turned out my younger sister would take them to homeschool roller skate, and she'd sell them to other people because it was like this open, you know, like flea market of different Christian materials. And so people bought my sister's stolen items.
Wouldn't they be bootlegged from you?
Like bootlegged something that's been banned.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they were just stolen merchandise, basically.
Black market.
Black market, 100%. So yeah, that was.
What was the second story?
The second story had to do with my braces. We're making a full loop here.
What was the second story?
So when I was like 13, I went to homeschool roller skate, and they brought in a photographer once a year to do pictures, do school pictures.
You should have started with this one. This is a sad one. You gotta land with the fun ones.
anyway, I went in to get my picture taken, and before I went in, my mom said, "Hey, Lacey, I want you to smile with your teeth for your picture." And I said, "Mom, I don't like my teeth. I don't want to smile with my teeth." And she said to me, "I don't care if you don't like your teeth. You need to smile with your teeth because I'm paying for the pictures, and you don't have to look at them if you don't want to." And so I said, "Fine, I'll smile with my teeth," because I was 12 and very much like my current
12-year-old?
12-year-old, yeah. And so I go in there, and she sits me down and gets me ready. I think it was a he, actually, which makes more sense. But the guy sits me down, gets me ready. Says, "Okay, 1, 2, 3." And I smiled, and he went down like he's going to take the picture. And he looks through the viewfinder for a second, and then he pokes his head out, and then he looks through the viewfinder again, and then he pokes his head out and goes, "I think it would be better if you smiled without showing your teeth." And
so
I just was like, "Yeah, I know. I am in 100% agreement with you, buddy." And you just confirmed for me what I was thinking the entire time. No one wants to see my teeth when I smile.
Oh, that is so bad.
I know, right?
So bad. Hey, if you guys have any funny picture stories, please let us know. We would love to encourage other people who listen with any stories. That's a horrible story.
Like school picture stories? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. I would love to hear other people's school pictures.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wore tinted blue glasses for my 9th grade.
9th grade, man.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Getting up there too, to wear the tinted blue.
You would think I knew better, but I did not.
Right, right.
It was a phase. I thought I was gonna wear tinted blue.
I was just talking with somebody about back to roller skating. I was just talking to them about like what a thing it was when we were younger, and how our parents would literally just drop us off, and we'd go roller skating. Can you even imagine doing that now for your younger kid? Just being like, "Have fun at the rink. Like, here's $4.
$4? It's like 10 now.
Well, you could get in and buy yourself like a pickle or something like that, or nachos or whatever.
Definitely nachos, not a pickle. Weird.
A pickle, 100%. Those big old pickles they would.
No, nachos. Cheese drizzled all over the top.
So disgusting.
So good. Hey, so yes, adoption day. That's what we did for adoption day. We went to a roller skating rink. Super fun, blast. I still hurt because I'm getting old and my hip hurts. Lacey got braces. I'm just going through our show notes.
You're doing it in such an exciting way too.
I know.
We did not bore people.
Oh, hey, speaking of boring people, if you guys have something interesting you would love us to talk about, feel free to send us an email, and we'll.
You feel I don't know if this is the vibe you're wanting to come across as, but the vibe I'm getting is desperate. Are you desperate?
Why? I haven't done a
You've
question.
done a called out for like 3 different questions.
Have I?
Yeah.
Okay. Changing. Ooh, here's one. So this last week, we've talked about our morning routine quite a bit here on this podcast and in person, but we have a massive change that happened this week that everyone, with potentially the exception of Lacey, is not excited about.
People in
or
my
is
family,
excited about, except you.
Yeah, everybody in my family is going wild about our morning routine change up. They are like losing their minds with excitement.
I went to bed at 8:30 last night knowing our morning routine would happen.
And let me tell you what. We added family breakfast to the agenda.
Pew, pew, pew.
And it is a fan favorite already.
Everyone loves it.
Yes, almost everyone loves it.
The lady who feels penned in by schedules, i.e. my wife, is not a big fan yet.
I am not, but it is really good as far as it is helping because we are noticing so much of our kids fighting was happening in the morning. And so we wanted to tighten up that a little bit more, and it has helped a lot. I'm not making it. I told Nathan I wanted to set the bar really, really low. So we started out with cereal. And because I mean, the problem with these people I live with is that they're kind of.
Your family. You're talking about your family.
The family.
Yeah.
My family. They think that if you start with something, that it has to continue on that way forever. So I had to start really, really simple. So I wasn't locked into waffles every morning.
Which is funny because this morning Ari and Lydia made waffles,
They did make waffles.
bacon, like a ton of stuff, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they're doing it. They are in charge of breakfast twice a week, and I have it 3 times. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be good. I just want to make it sustainable, or I won't keep up with it if I'm expected to do like a good old farmhouse breakfast every morning.
Yeah. Anyways, wanted to give that update.
Yeah.
If you're deeply
Following the steel schedule.
deeply interested
I'm
in
really
our,
sure they're not, but
I wanted to give that update for those.
they're
of you
just
who
now.
are.
They know what time to show up for breakfast now.
No, we didn't give a time.
Oh, we didn't give a time. No.
Hey, I wanted to add this in because you've been reading it. I just started it, but we have a book recommendation for those of you who have adopted or are raising kids with, I don't want to say difficult kids. I want to feel free to jump in here and save me, but basically
I like watching you kind of flounder a little bit. That sounds so mean. I don't like watching you flounder. I like watching you scramble a little bit.
Yeah, you do. No, you like me. Yeah. But anyways, it's called The Connected Parent. And I was wondering if you could share just a little bit of your thoughts on the book. Like I said, I just started it.
Yeah, we have talked about before a book by Karen Purvis called The Connected Child.
Yeah.
That really was influential for us in adopting and just learning about our kids. And The Connected Parent is very similar, except for I think it gives a little bit more. I think it's more helpful with my older kids and real specific. I was telling Nathan that I said, hey, I want you to read this. Not that it'll be a lot of new ideas per se, but maybe just a little bit more concrete
And even just
strategy for where we're at right now.
right, and just some refreshers on,
Right.
kind of in the trenches. Hey, remember this strategy. Remember, like you're saying.
Right. And even in the book, they talk a lot about scripts or things that you say to remind kids because they're not able to handle a lot of words when they get unregulated. And I deal with that a lot with my girls, that they have things that push them off into feeling pretty unregulated or out of control, and
Right.
how we have cues that bring them back. And so that was really helpful for me, just establishing, yes, that these little cues, that doesn't have to be complicated.
Right.
And I definitely overcomplicate things or want these big old strategies or these long-term things when they can be really simple. And so I've really enjoyed reading it. I think it's been just a great asset to where I'm at right now with my kids. And so that book is called The Connected Parent. It's by Lisa Qualls and Karen Purvis. And we actually got the Audible version because we can both listen to it and talk about it.
Well, the reason I want to say, even if you haven't adopted, but it's like, man, we know that all of our kids have gone through, sometimes we can feel as a parent out of control with our kids. Adopted, not adopted, stepkids, all of the above. And I know for ourselves, we love it when people have recommendations for us. And so we want to just share that, hey, if you're struggling as a parent, as feeling out of control in parenting and just maybe needed some encouragement, we highly, highly recommend The Connected Parent. So yeah, that was just a quick shout out. Speaking of Connected Parent, one of the things that I'm already picking up on in the first kind of couple chapters is valuing your kids above, valuing what your kids need above either routine. I'm trying to think of what the right word is, like responsibility maybe, of I know for myself, I can get like, no, I have X, Y, and Z in my schedule today. I don't have time for this. When in reality, the most important thing in my schedule is my kids, right? Is my relationship with you. And I know it's one of those things that can be very frustrating, right? And so that's...
Well, can I use an example?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so one of the examples is my family, bless them, do really well when I write out a schedule. And it's not enough to put it like a checklist, like we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that. It has to be timed, like at what time exactly we're going to do something. And all three of them really love that because it's very concrete. And so we have breakfast at a certain time, and then a half hour later we have the next thing, and blah, 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 blah. And so if something happens to overlap, they lose their ever-loving minds. And even Nathan was really pushing. He was putting a lot of pressure this last week on something to be done so we can move to the next thing on time. And the kids were actually really escalating. And he was so focused on...
I'm just trying to keep us on time because they like a schedule.
But you were really focused on
to
moving to the next thing. And because you were so focused on that, you weren't noticing that they were actually really ramping up.
Right.
And so I'd kind of just nudge you and be like, hey, you're focusing on the wrong thing right now.
Right.
And I'm sorry for kind of using you the bad example in
No, but that's what I mean.
What
That's
you were
what I'm
saying
learning.
is being able to be like, okay, yes, it is important that we keep on time, but maybe not as important as
what our kids immediately need.
Right. What kind of atmosphere we're creating, what kind of, like you said, what the immediate need is in the situation. And I think that, we have that ability as adults to,
well, some adults.
But we personally, you and I, we have that ability as adults to sacrifice what we want or what we even feel like we need. And she talks about this in the book a lot, that the first step in being able to help your kids is being able to go into your own places of hurt or feeling unsafe or feeling wounded and being able to deal with that first. Because if we don't deal with those things first, we're not going to be able to help our kids out in that. And that's one thing we talk a lot about in Cultivate, is that that we are called to love God. We're called to love people. We're called to live in relationship. But until we deal with our own relationships in our life, that we can't be that extended to other people. We can't extend the love of God to other people. Because if we've never felt love, we've never experienced true love, true acceptance, how can we expect to offer that to others?
Well, and oftentimes it's not about experiencing it, it's about receiving it.
Right.
That often we reject it either because we feel like we don't deserve it, or we reject it simply out of, I don't know, being wounded or hurt. But our book on love talks about that, of being able to receive the Heavenly Father's love so that you can give that love
and
out.
And that is extended to our relationship with our children. A lot of times we want things for our kids that we've not experienced for ourselves, or we've not been taken seriously. And I think that, that's one thing it's really good to think through, is my kid is struggling with this thing. Is that something I've had freedom in my own life over?
Right.
Like, what do I do when I feel unsafe? Have I brought that to the Lord and talked to him about that? What are my triggers for feeling out of control? Is that something I've allowed the Lord to bring me healing for, or been honest with my spouse about? Because if we're asking our kids to go places that we haven't went ourselves, that's a hard journey, So that has been helpful just to think through and strategize with you. I think that parenting does involve strategy. It involves communication, and
it involves making sure that you and your spouse are a team. Mm-hmm. I know there's so many circumstances out there, so I don't want to make anyone feel less than, but I know that's been something incredibly, incredibly helpful in our marriage and our parenting, is knowing the other person's your teammate. Even if you disagree with them, are you willing to maybe set aside that disagreement for the sake of being a team together, right?
Yeah.
And kind of thinking back and forth of sometimes you have to give up something to agree with me, and sometimes I have to give up something to agree with you. Mm-hmm. And it's that back and forth of going, okay, I'm going to sacrifice on the schedule that says 9, we're going to move on to at 9. 9 o'clock is the time we're moving on at. And being able to sacrifice my own desire for 9 o'clock for what you're saying is, no, right now, this is most important. Mm-hmm. Right? Talk about kind of caring for yourself, and I had this quote on there because I really feel like you should talk about it, but it's also a great kind of segue and backing up what you're talking about with caring for yourself. The quote is, and you had found this earlier this week, by Dr. Carolyn Leaf, and it says, "My mental health really changed when I stopped asking myself, why am I so lazy? And started asking, why does my body need so much rest right now?" And I thought it's such a fantastic quote, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that quote and why it meant so much to you.
Yeah, that was a really impactful. I've been thinking a lot about that concept. I think it goes along with being kind to yourself, and listening to what your body is telling you, which has been a journey I've been on the last few years, just with different health things and
decade. Yeah.
I honestly, I was raised with a really strong work ethic, and basically, you were working hard or you were lazy.
Well, let me put a twist on that. Work ethic and responsibility.
Right, really high responsibility.
Yeah, high responsibility.
Right, and so if I was dealing with exhaustion, I would try to take, I learned, if I was dealing with exhaustion or dealing with a health thing, that I would need to lay down, or I would need to try to, give myself rest. But the whole time I'm giving myself rest, I'm just beating myself up,
We say rest with air quotes.
Yeah, why are you such a loser? Why can't you get up? Just force yourself to move, and all this mental stuff, right? And so I started to try to take those thoughts captive, and it's been a step-by-step journey. But I think when I saw this quote, I think I just encouraged me, change the question to yourself, not why are you such a loser, why are you so lazy, why can't you get it together, why can't you get your migraines figured out, why can't you get why did you do such and such, you shouldn't have done that. Instead, say, okay, let's problem solve. Why is my body really struggling right now? What are things I could do to best support it? Instead of an accusation, it's a recognizing of, yes, my body is struggling.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, because it's struggling, I need to take care of it.
Yeah.
So number three, how am I going to take care of it? And it creates this decision of proactivity instead of just
blame maybe?
Or accusation.
Blame yourself. Yeah, accusation.
Right? And I think as I'm, doing this and thinking about it and just learning how to be kind to my body. My body is a gift from the Lord. And I don't say that lightly. I mean, Nathan, as you know, has chronic health issues. He was born with a body that, what we call it, a beater, a beater of a body,
a lemon.
A lemon there. That's what I was thinking.
It was so funny. We were talking to Ari this week about how we were joking about how much I hurt, and I'm like, honey, Mom might be older than me, but I feel like my body's older than her.
Yeah, for real. And your body's went through a lot just to stay alive, and I think instead of being whatever body we've been given, being able to still be thankful and be like, Lord, thank you for giving me a body. And in this body you've given me, you realize its limitations. You realize its abilities.
I want to be very specific with that. Everyone deals with having to eat. Everyone deals with having to sleep. But stewarding your body, your specific body, That's what's important is, okay, your body, Lacey, needs 8 hours per night. My body doesn't. My body doesn't need that much. But being able to be wise and steward your specific body, not just, I need to eat, I need, sleep. What
would you be like if you could breathe like a normal person?
I would.
How much sleep how much do you say your dad needs? How much sleep does your dad
My dad usually sleeps, I think it's like 4 to 5 hours a night.
See, that's insane.
Yeah.
Part of me is kind of happy you can't breathe that well in the way that you do, because you would drive me nuts. You already get to bed so late, and you would drive me so nuts if you're like popping into bed at like 2 and getting up at 6.
2, wake up at 4.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, oddly enough, I don't need as much sleep. There are definitely seasons. Like I said last night, I went to bed at 8:30. I think it was a buildup of several nights in a row. But yeah, generally I don't need as much sleep. And I'm able to wake up like...
You're just awake.
I'm just awake. Like I just wake up and I can't be in bed anymore. I get antsy if I lay... So, anyways, here's the important thing. Know your body, steward your body well. And, the more Lacey and I are both being more vigilant of our personal body's needs, we're also recognizing just how little I know for ourselves we've not been aware of what our bodies needs. And so that's why I think we're doing this push is, man, make sure your body is getting what it needs, nutrition wise, sleep, exercise, all of those things. So be more aware of your needs so that you can better care for the needs of others. Ooh, that's good.
Wow.
You know what? Thank you. No, I need a clap that they can hear. Thank you. Anyways, you know what? This is our 10th podcast.
10?
Number 10.
Nice.
Yeah. We've done 10 of these.
I feel like we need to remember some kind of Sesame Street on the song and the number 10 or something like that.
I was going to say we could do an impromptu top 10.
Top 10 what?
I don't know. That's where you have to come into play. I've created the title. Now you need to think of the content. Top 10. But come on. You have to use words at least.
Remember how I said at the beginning of this that all I am right now is a giant brace? That's all I can think about. That's all I can focus on. That's all my thoughts go back to.
Is your braces?
They're my braces. Because my teeth hurt constantly and so much.
Ooh, you know what? I know. First of all, I've really appreciated top 10 things we appreciate
in our lives.
Yeah, I got one. Hold on, I need to start off. Number 10, looking at Lacey adjust to her braces. Definitely on my top 10 because, oh my goodness, it is so funny. I'll look at her and she'll be staring off into middle distance with like this look in her eyes, this determined look, and her mouth just doing this movement independent of the rest of her face. And it's really funny. Top 10.
It's like Ari says, my tongue is so curious.
That's such a great line.
It is, isn't it?
Oh my word. Number 9.
Yeah.
Ari sayings.
Ari sayings are phenomenal. This I feel like is not ranked very well for appreciative things in our life.
Literally, I'm just making stuff up as I talk.
Number 8 is better than bouillon chicken broth. That, honestly, I go through an impressive amount of chicken bouillon a month. I go through the Costco size, but as I was making myself a cup of broth today, I was thinking how thankful I was for that particular bouillon. Yeah, definitely. It's very useful in so many different things.
Was that 7?
I was 7.
6. Something I appreciate. Number 6 is my office. I really like my office. I just changed my desk today because I needed a little bit of a mix-up in my life.
I feel like you're just looking around.
No, I'm not looking around.
Oh, okay.
No, that was like legit. I really like my office and I like moving my desk.
Change. You get so excited just to change.
Here's the thing. I like
everything.
I like micro change. I don't like macro change.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Like, he's always trying to get me to give him my side of the bed. And I'm like, no, strong no. This
No,
is
just
mine.
to, like,
You can't
switch it
have
up.
it. No.
Switch it up a little
so
bit.
he will sleep with his head on the end of the bed just to switch it up.
Yep.
That's weird. It's definitely weird.
Anyways, you're on 5.
Oh, I thought we were on 8, 9. You did 8, 7. 7 was The Office. 6 is me.
No, you did 7. No, I did 7. 6 is you. Yeah, go. We have braces, RE sayings, bullying, Office. Ooh, you're on. What is that?
6.
6. You're on 6. Go.
Spring. I am thankful for spring and birds and being able to hear them come back and sweetly sing about how wonderful the weather will be for the day.
You know what? My spirit bears witness. The weather has been magical here in the area that we live in.
Yep. Very nice.
5? I'm on 5.
Go ahead.
5 things that I appreciate. I appreciate. Maybe we should just do top 5 things.
You can't think of 10 things you're appreciative?
No, I am, but like you're saying, I'm just looking around now at this point.
Okay.
Oh no, you know what? I'm appreciative of. This is kind of a big one, but it like all encompassing. We were talking about parenting and how. Oh man, I feel like you and I have a great tag team where when one of us is like, I'm out, you feel like you're able to tag the other person in. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, so I appreciate that. Tag team.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
I am appreciative of
Number 4.
number 4.
Yeah.
Yes. I am appreciative of the ocean,
Oh goodness.
just in general.
I feel like that one should have been number 1.
But you said no specific order.
Yeah, but number 1 is obviously like the best one.
If I move it to 1, you
Okay,
think of
well then
number
what's
4.
No, wait. No. Okay, number 4. You remember 1. Number 4?
But we did it all wrong because now people aren't excited about number 1. We gave it away. Did you like listening to Casey Kasem and how you'd listen for hours just to get to number 1, and you already knew it because you heard the song a million times
guys?
that week.
You know what? The ocean isn't number 1. It's number 4 because I have something so incredible for number 1.
Can't beat the ocean.
Oh, I will.
All right, go ahead.
And they're going to have to listen and wait.
Okay, number 4, tacos. Always tacos.
Okay.
Number 3.
Bacon cheeseburgers.
Okay.
So good.
Okay. Number 2.
Number 2? Are we on number 2 already?
You said number 3, bacon cheeseburgers.
And number 4, what was number 5?
Tacos.
No, that was number 4.
Okay, go. Number 2.
Number 2 is
Dead air.
dead
air.
Just dead air. Number 2 is you know what we should do is a top 10 of things we hate, because the only thing that comes to mind is right now I hate my website because I spent the last week recoding it.
You loved it 20 minutes ago before we started this.
I do. Here's the thing. Number 2.
Number 2. I love my house. It's old.
You're stealing all of
But-
my numbers.
Because you're not talking. You're acting like you don't have anything to be thankful for.
I'm thankful for so many things. I'm thankful that for our website, it looks so good now.
You just said you hate it.
Shh. It's a love-hate relationship.
Okay, number 1.
Number 1. Ready?
Yeah.
The ocean.
You're not funny.
I do. I love the
You
ocean.
tried
It's
to
like-
trick people.
I know I
and
did.
It wasn't.
100%. Haha, if you're still listening, got
That
ya.
was the worst top 10 list.
I know. Here's the
Ever.
thing. It wasn't on our paper, and I felt like I just remembered, oh yeah, number 10. We should do a
Never
top 10.
do that again. It didn't work out.
Okay.
The polls are back. Everyone hated it. You're watching the video. I just can't
Hey,
stop
if you're listening to
messing
this,
with my mouth.
if you're listening to this, you should pop over to our website and just watch a few minutes of the. Look at what Lacey.
Because my overbite is so bad. my bottom teeth are braced right now, so I have to like force out my teeth on the bottom to like mess with them.
Go to cultivaterelationships.com/podcasts and you'll be able to see Lacey messing with her mouth. So funny. Hey guys, wow. Thank you for, you know what, if you're still listening.
I don't think they're still listening.
Whoever's still listening, thank you.
Uh-huh.
And if you're not listening, whatever.
Well, we're glad for what you gave us.
There you go. All right.
Have a great week.
Bye.